Okay, so this video is gonna be long for sure. So if you don't want to listen to me like talk about this whole situation, then click off. But for context, my boyfriend broke up with me over a groomer. And for even more context, this guy, he gets added to our Spanish class. And I don't know what it was, but I already didn't like him. I don't know what kind of vibe he put out for me to like feel that he wasn't good. But no. But my boyfriend, on the other hand, my ex, I should say, he really likes him. Like, he just loved talking to him so much. To a point where it got annoying to me. Like, I just fell asleep to get out of my mind, because it's like, oh wow, I'm right here too, guys. And when I wake up, I feel a little bit better, so I try and go to talk to him. And he's just neck deep in this conversation with him. And it's like, oh, he didn't even turn to look at me. Like, I just kind of felt invisible right there. And I ended up just listening to my music and sitting somewhere else to get it off my mind. And then I go home, right, and do my research on this guy, because, like, I need to know why I feel this about him. And my friend, Michael, he was the victim of this guy, Matthew. And, like, I was really surprised when I heard this. So I immediately ran to my boyfriend to tell him about this, because I don't want him being near someone who's like that, who's done that to someone who's close to me. But I probably sounded really crazy to him when I told him, because I'm not exactly the best explainer. So I don't think he believed me, but I just kind of told him, hey, you shouldn't be close to this guy because he did this to my friend. And yeah. And then he doesn't believe me, obviously. So then I go home, I call him, and I keep telling him how, hey, don't be close to him. He's a creep. Don't be close to him. He's a creep. And I proceed to show him all the evidence, like all the screenshots that my friend sent me of him, well, like being a groomer. Like all the screen recording, screenshots, whatever you can think of. And he doesn't understand it. What? There's quite literally nothing to understand. It's all the proof that he's a groomer, and you're gonna tell me that you don't understand it? That's strange. And he told me this, I don't know when, but he said how he wanted to make new friends. So I ended up calling him out. You're this desperate to make new friends that you're gonna ignore the allegations against him. And he just kind of pivoted, I guess. Like, he changed the subject. I don't really remember it well. But after a lot of talking and arguing, I ended up getting really mad. I was annoyed and mad the entire time. I got so mad that I ended up yelling at him. And I heard him cry before he hung up, so I ended up relapsing. But then I called him back to make sure he was okay, because he mattered more. And then I ended up just crying on call for like, who knows how long, saying how he could find better, and that I've always been so jealous and that I always have problems with his friends. And he actually said this last one, how I always have problems with his friends, and that kind of stung, because I'm always just trying to look out for him or tell him that, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. Can you please tell him to stop? And he always said, yeah, of course, I'll tell him to stop. And I thought, oh, okay, so he doesn't mind that. So hearing him say that kind of sucked. But after a lot of crying and more arguing, I ended up threatening our relationship by saying it's either me or him. And he picked me, and then he suggested we should go to sleep because it was late. I was tired. I just finished crying my eyes out. But I couldn't go to sleep that night. I was scared of what would happen if me yelling at him would, drive him off the edge. But I found out he didn't fall asleep either. He was actually texting one of my friends about what happened, so that's nice. We could have talked it out if he wasn't gonna go to bed, but at the same time I wasn't really listening. I just wanted him to get away from that. The next morning he calls me, we're talking, and I think, oh, it's just gonna be another day with him. And then he suggests we should break up, and then I'm like, oh, all right, sure, I saw this coming anyway, because I'm not exactly the most likable person on the planet. I have my issues and stuff, so I say, yeah, sure. And then he asks if he wants to be friends, and me personally, I can't be friends with someone who I love like that. But I don't know what made me say yes. If it was out of pity or to make him happy, I said, yeah, let's be friends. But being friends didn't work out either. Like, I just couldn't handle it. I kept making him cry more, actually, because I was telling him all these things I was gonna do because our homecoming's soon, right? And I told him how I couldn't go, but I was gonna surprise him with a poster and everything. But obviously I'm not gonna do that now since he's not with me anymore. And he ended up crying. I still feel horrible for telling him that. But I end up dropping the ball saying, hey, I think it'd be better if we just stop talking. And after even more arguing, I break things off in a bad way. In a bad way. I should have worded it better. Then maybe it wouldn't have hurt him so much. And then the next day, because I have school, I'm getting ready. I'm going to my classes, and it is third period. I'm in my robotics class, and I sit right next to him. So already it's like, oh, I feel awful right now. And Matthew is also in that class, the groomer. So my ex and him are talking, and then my ex invites him to sit down, and I have to listen to them talk to each other for half the class. I ended up running to the bathroom to get it off my mind, and then when I came back, I just played my music loud so I wouldn't have to hear it. And then in Spanish, that's my 7th period, I also have them both in my class, and I had to sit alone at this little desk because I didn't want to be a part of that. It really hurts when you feel excluded like that. He was one of the closest people I've had. I only have 4 friends or people I talk to, not including him. If it was including him, it would be 5. So I just felt really lonely in most of the classes. And the next day, I have geometry. That's the only class I have with him that day, because my days are separated in 2 different schedules. So I'm in 4th period. I'm in geometry. And the person who sits next to me moves to sit next to my ex. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I didn't even talk to him anyway. But then I see all of my friends with my ex, and it's just, oh, I'm really alone now. And I just try to focus on what the teacher was saying instead of what was happening. And it didn't really work. I don't know. It got to a point where Michael, the victim, and me confronted my ex, saying how Matthew's like such a horrible person, and like that he's just trying to warn you. I don't remember everything that happened, but he said how, okay, fine, I'll grow distance with him, but I'll still be friends with him. What? Excuse me? You know, like, Michael just told you everything that's happened, and you still want to be friends with him? Why are you this desperate? Please, go make friends with anyone else. And then my other friend, Aubrey, she was molested by Matthew. So, she goes to tell him her story. And apparently he knew that my friend got molested by him. But he still chooses to be friends and to grow distance. Please, just drop him. There's no growing distance. It's cutting ties with him. He's a horrible person. And today, this is kind of unrelated, but I saw him dancing with another person like how we used to. And that just kind of tore my heart apart. I ended up running to the bathroom and just like throwing up. But that's all I really got to say. I hope he cuts ties with him first off, and I hope he finds better, since obviously I wasn't good for him either, because he broke up with me. But at the same time, he then goes on to go into my DMs on TikTok, because I deleted TikTok for a little bit, but then obviously I re-downloaded it if I'm posting it here. And he's saying how it isn't the same without me. Ow. And he's saying how he messed up breaking up with me. And then he goes on to say that he hopes the friendship I picked is better than the relationship we had. And that is just so wrong. First off, I didn't pick anything or anyone. What I picked was to look out for you. I wanted to look out for him and to make sure he wasn't a victim too. But I guess he didn't take it that way, if he thinks that. I don't know why he thinks that. Actually, the irony is that he chose a groomer over me. That is just wow. Oh my God. But that's really it. That's all I wanted to talk about today.